My name is Tylluan. I'm a solitary pagan witch, I'm an author and the founder of the Wolf and Howl's Press. Wolf and Howl Press, I'll get it right in a minute. Today's little chat is about witches and how we use creativity for healing. Now, normally when people talk about healing, we either talk about giving people medicine or therapy. Therapy can take lots of different forms. You know, you can have acupuncture, you can have physiotherapy, you can go and see a chiropractor, you can go for, well, all sorts of things, you name it. But the type of healing I'm talking about is something I think very specific that should appeal to witches, and that's the healing of creativity. Now that is not a new idea. Back in ancient Greece, for example, places like the Asclepion, which was a temple dedicated to the healing god Asclepius, they would often use things like music and art as therapy in the temples, in their healing rooms, if you like. And it's a pity in a way that we've lost it, because our attitude to healing has become very ambiguous down the years. I mean, the early church taught that healing was totally wrong. Any kind of administering drugs or herbal remedies was wrong, because we should really trust to God, and by not just relying on prayer, by trying to take, by using pilewort or something, we were somehow displaying a lack of faith. Okay, now that is not that long ago. That's 1500 years ago, and that is a drop in the ocean when we talk about the life of humanity. And the problem with these kind of approaches is that you're told, go this way, go that way, go this way, go that way. And in the end, we don't know where to go. It's like trying to cross a very busy road. We don't know where the traffic is coming from. So what do? We try something else. Now, none of the things I'm suggesting are a substitute for medical care. I'm the first to say that, because there are times where, medical care is absolutely paramount. And nobody should try and use any of these ideas without first, doing what you can in a normal, straightforward sense. And I use normal very advisedly, because going to the doctor, taking your tablets has become normal. And that's what I'm referring to. I'm not saying one is right or the other is wrong. But what I am saying is, I think sometimes we don't realise how healing therapies like art and music can be. And Facebook the other day was trying to be helpful in the way it does, and it posted up to me a memory from 3 years ago when I'd said, we should be trying to be creative, we should be trying to create beauty, and it would help if we all did our little bit. It would help make the world a nicer place. I don't think we've got there yet, but I do think that the idea of healing here, I am not talking about healing ourselves. I'm not talking about healing a broken leg or flu or anything like that. I'm talking about this generalised healing that I think witches can be particularly good at. And that is by being creative and by making things that bring a smile to our faces, things that make us feel good, things that keep us warm, things that keep us fed. I think cookery is very creative, to be honest with you. There are so many things we can try, and yet often we're ending up being made to feel that somehow, unless we're casting a spell, unless we're wearing a big pointy hat, unless we're wearing a 5-pointed star, we are not being proper witches. Well, we are. This is the thing. Don't allow this sort of thing to paralyse you. Do your little bit. And by that I mean things like, okay, let's go sort of one thing at a time. Cookery I mentioned. Well, if you bake a cake, if you bake cupcakes, if you bake bread, what have you, you can put something on it that is appropriate to the season, so that those with you know this is something special. And even if you're living amongst people who don't share your beliefs, you see, there's nothing stopping you. I mean, nothing stops you baking a Christmas cake, even if to you it's a Yuletide cake. Nothing stops you baking a harvest loaf. even if to you it's for Mabon or Lunasa or Lammas or whatever harvest festival you choose to celebrate. Nothing stops you creating, say, a bowl of nuts, like they do at December. People will have a bowl full of nuts. Well, why not, just to make it beautiful, to add a little creativity, wrap a little bit of foil, like even cooking foil, thin wrapping foil, around, say, a walnut shell or a Brazil nut, just one or two in the dish. I mean, you can spray paint them, I suppose, or paint them with acrylic, but if you don't want to run any risk that you've got chemicals on the go, put a little bit of foil there. And if you don't want to do that, what's wrong with you putting a couple of bay leaves there or a few holly leaves there? You don't have to eat them. I mean, you can be careful, So little things like this, that's a start. That's the cookery one. You can do things like in your garden, or if you don't have a garden, on your windowsill. You can decorate the pot. You can decorate the pot with a pebble, as long as you don't have children around who are likely to swallow them, or in my case, a puppy. That would be fine. You can just put something beautiful there. There are all these things. Somebody who lives not far from me must be. There's a derelict hotel that is down the bottom of the hill, and it's been boarded up for years. And somebody recently, when the World Cup, I think it was on, must have painted and brought down these absolutely huge paintings, and they've got to be in acrylic, on boards, which they then attached to the boarded up windows. So when you go past now, instead of seeing these horrible boarded up windows, you've got pictures of people in the Welsh rugby squad. Now, I'm not a massive follower of rugby. I'm a fan of it. I'm patriotic, if you like. But isn't it wonderful to go past and see what somebody has done? They haven't waited for anybody else to do it. They probably haven't even had permission. And they have gone and put up these pictures. And I think it's lovely, personally. As long as they don't blow down and hit anybody. I think it's a lovely idea. And these sort of things we can be doing all the time. We can create these tiny areas of beauty that make the world, believe it or not, they make it a better place. Because it shows that we care. It's like these people who, they knit scarves and hats, and they sort of attach them to railings with a little note saying, "These are free. If you're cold, please take them." What a beautiful idea. You don't have to knit hundreds of them. One will do. One is a nice gesture. And I know people say, well, the wrong people might have them. Well, so what? The right thought was there, even if the wrong people got them. And who's to say they're the wrong people? How do you spot a wrong person? Because I don't know. We bear that in mind. As witches, we have a job to do. We can be creative. We can sing a little song. We can whistle. Cheer somebody up. Doesn't matter. Just give it a try. And try and heal your little bit of the world. Ever so slightly. Don't expect great things. Great things don't happen to the world. Great things happen to the witch for doing it. And thank you ever so much for listening. Goodbye.